Now, welcome to Uncensored Friday Live with the Ordained Crown Prince of Ghana, Poku-Hitzfied. I'm sending you love, I'm sending you grace, I'm sending you power and abundance from Accra, Ghana, to wherever you find yourself on this beautiful continent called Africa. The kingdom of Al-Kebulan is upon us. Arise, arise, African youth, for your continent, because your continent demands your devotion. So, welcome to Uncensored Friday with Ordained Crown Prince of Ghana, Poku-Hitzfied. As I said, today we will talk a lot as Ghanaians, and there is something that is pissing me off a bit in Ghana, and I need to address it. If the Ordained Crown Prince of Ghana doesn't talk, how will people even know I am here? So I need to let people know that whatever they are doing, we are looking at it. And in Pan-Africanism, certain actions will be punished, right? Certain actions will be punished. Bediako-Poku story, right? It's written in African folklore already. We are in the era of Aquarius, where Africans are basking in their grace, when Africans are basking in their power, where Africans know who they are, and we are basking in our abundance. We don't want trouble. But if you give us trouble, the fury of our ancestors, I said in just 77 years, the Eiffel Tower won't have a viewer. You don't believe it, right? We want peace. The story will be written in two ways. Choose the peace route. Choose the love route. As a matter of fact, I am begging you to choose the love route, because I have seen what the violence route will do to your people. In 2023, as I said, we always say Switzerland is one of the most holy humanitarian blah 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 countries. But then I think about it. All these corrupt politicians have Swiss accounts, and you know it is the same money they give us as loans. They know these people will bring it back. So then African politicians will open accounts and send those money back to them. And you pick everything from the land. Look at California. Do you know a gram of California? Over $27 million. You are mining it in our lands. And then you come and say you are giving us aid. What aid? Can you give Africa aid? The fact that you are not even appreciating what we do. So going forward, I said, a pod of cocoa will never leave Africa to France. You need to apologize to Africa. You need to apologize to the world. You need to apologize to the black race a lot going forward. Because you keep telling other people that we are the violent ones, when the violence was done to us and not by us. How can you be the judge when you are the rapist? How can you be the judge when you are the murderer? How can you put yourself in a moral high ground and now come to me talking about human rights in my country when I'm basking in grace, power, and abundance? And I look at it and I'm like, I can twitch something and nature will consume you. Be careful what you are doing. I said, choose the peace route. Thank you to all my African brothers. I'm sending love to South Africa, to Julius Malema. I'm sending love to Assimi Goita. I'm sending love to Ibrahima Traore. I'm sending love to the oldest general in Africa. He knows Africa than any other soldier. And he has seen what is happening in Niger. He knows, no, this is not what Africa should be. We as Ghanaians, we believe our brothers in Africa than the French. So we were closing the French embassy. Start packing your things. Leave Africa now. Because even though we gave you the chance to make things right, you still put systems like this in place for us. After 500 years of slavery, you had a gas to make us sign a treaty like this. Self-indoctrination, indoctrination against our very own existence. Your language is even an epitome of how much you hate us. Look at the English language. Everything black is bad. How can you make a language and intentionally decide to wipe a race out of existence? Negate everything there. So going forward, Mr. Addison, I said the commander-in-chief of the Ghana Armed Forces, Bediako-Poku, is your new commander-in-chief. No coup d'etats in Ghana, please. No coup d'etats in Ghana. When President Akufo-Addo is done, we are not voting. The new parliaments that will go, the people won't go under an NDC, under an MPP. They will go under their names. So now what you have done in your constituency will be the mandate that people will vote for you. Now we will crown a queen and a king in Ghana very, very soon. 7 of our paramount chiefs will make the crown. We will put queens there. The feminine energies. We need them around our kings to talk sense into them when they are going wrong. They do talk sense into us when we are going wrong. African women are gods. African women. An African woman, right, can give birth to 15 children. 15 children. Show me a white lady that can go more than 10. And I'll give you $100 million. They don't have that mental capacity to travel that yard. We know who we are. We are basking in our grace. We are basking in our power. We are basking in our abundance. You see, when I was playing main said that Daddy Lumba is a legend. Why are you telling me that Cecilia Dapa should be able to have $5 million in a bank account somewhere of over $100 million? Come on, found. Come on, look at the money found. And then when you go to somebody like Daddy Lumba's home, can you find the same amount of money in Daddy Lumba's home? So why is it that somebody whose music transcends all ages, Daddy Lumba is supposed to live a life without not thinking of what to eat tomorrow as a Ghanaian? So that is where the disparities comes in. As the ordained crown prince of Ghana, in Pan-Africanism, nobody's work is important than anybody. You are my brother. I am your brother. If you are a carpenter, I am a doctor. Now, when women are going into marriages under Pan-Africanism, they will look at the job you do, because all the jobs will pay equally. They will look at the man in you, how humble you are, how well you can be a father before they choose you. They won't choose their men because these men are doctors and they can take care of them. They will choose you because you are a farmer and you are a good man and you can take care of your family. They will choose you because you are a plumber and you help build Africa and you are a good man. You see, these are systems that we are bringing in Pan-Africanism to make sure we educate our children properly. Farming is supposed to be the first job of every African, to be able to feed your family. So in Pan-Africanism, every African, the houses that we are building for our mothers and fathers, I said we will retire our mothers and fathers at the ages of 50 and above. We will take everybody's fingerprint and everything, and DNA, we will put everything on file. The reason why we want to do that is We want 100 years down the line, our great-great-great-grandchildren can trace their lineage and know that, whoa, I am the great-great-great-grandchild of Kweku Menu. I am the great-great-great-great-grandchild of Sarkodie. I am the great-great-great-great-grandchild of Trevor Noah. We want to make sure we leave those systems that is traceable. So going forward in Africa, we will put all our DNA on file. We will put our fingerprints on file. We want to make sure when you commit a crime, you will be found. Because when you go there, you are going to leave something. Forensic science is something we need to teach across Africa. It is one of the key ways of fighting crime. We need to put CCTV cameras on every traffic light. Put CCTV cameras on every standing light. So that when people know that if I commit a crime, I will be found, they would rather go and work for money. We are about to put these systems in Pan-Africanism. We have so far written 3,007 patterns in Pan-African system. I'm calling on every software engineer, every IT company, write me an email at ranringo@gmail.com. We need to add more things to the Pan-African system. If you have developed a system that you think will be beneficial to Africa going forward, come and let us put it in the Pan-African system. And if you want to sponsor the Ordained Crown Prince of Ghana, you can contact me. Any donations is welcome from Black people only. Because I don't want to ever take something from a white man so that he will think he has authority over me and come back in orders. Let us bring our monies back to Africa because we are about to close Africa. The dollars that you are keeping in your rooms is about to be just papers. We are moving our attention from this Western people. It is because we give them that energy. That is why they think they have authority over us. But they never have authority over a black man. We are taking our friendship. We now know that we have the biggest land. You can fit China, you can fit the United States, you can fit the whole of Europe in Africa, and still there will be land left. Just Democratic Republic of Congo is big in land size. You can put Germany, you can put England and all these Western European countries in DRC and still there will be land left. We know DRC is the richest country in the world. I said a gram of californium is $27 million. We know who we are. We don't need papers to prove our wealth. Our human resource teaches you that. We don't need papers to prove our wealth. Our natural resources teaches you that. And we don't need to even bow down to the white man. Because we know we are the gods. It is from us that you came into existence, not the other way around. So you couldn't know God better than I. I create the kingdom of Al-Kabula. I create a united Africa with one currency, with a king. The kingdom of Africa, the kingdom of Al-Kabula is upon us. When they came here, they came to meet us as kings and queens and told us we were slaves. We've gone back to when we were. And the way it was, that is what we are building again. But this time around, we are in 2023. The technology. I said Africa will host the World Cup in 2050. When we open Africa to the world, they will be marveled. They will open their mouths and be like, wow, wow, wow. When they tried whitewashing Egyptology and it didn't work, the new propaganda and perception game they brought up was aliens built the pyramids. The children in Belgium don't know how a king killed over 20 million DR Congo citizens for a selfish gain of rubber and its raw materials. So today, a child in Belgium doesn't know the atrocities Belgium committed. But then that child can look at Africa and say something bad towards his heritage, towards her heritage. If you're in the diaspora as a black person, everything you heard about Africa is the opposite of it. Because look at what they are doing to you in America. That is the same thing they are doing to us here in Africa. And ours is worse because everything you get there, your energies are taken for free from Africa. And that is what we are stopping. But this is the message they don't want to get to you. Why? They control the media as well. So they control information that even gets to our own people. Twist the truth to fit a narrative. My people, it's been a pleasure having you today. See you on Monday. We will talk about Manchester United on Monday. I'm beginning to hate talking about Manchester United because for the first time in a long while, my love for the club is diminishing a lot, right? Because if I look at how I love Manchester United, right, and how we love everything British, and yet look at the systems, look at the things they've stolen, it is still there. We keep saying, give our things back to us. Our forefathers need to be in our land. All these things, and they keep declining our request. And I'm like, okay, it's because I give you the energy, right? If the NBA moves to Africa, where would the United States be? Where would the United States NBA be without black people playing NBA? We have moved that energy to Africa. That is why we are about to build 100,000 capacity stadiums only. We are over 1.5 billion people. So we shouldn't build stadiums less than 100,000. We are about to build 100,000 capacity stadiums. I said we are going to retire our fathers above the ages of 50. First off, we are going to build houses for them on a 5-acre property. These houses, I want it to be like a 7-bedroom house for everybody above the ages of 50 because we want to retire them. And as every black man and as every human, it is in your dream to give your parents houses, right? So what if consciously we do that and let them be in the house and take care of our children whilst we work with a median age of 19 years? My name is Obonku Menkuman and I'm not Bediako-Poku. It's been a pleasure having you for a very, very long time. This man, in his footsteps, I am walking in the same power, but now we have more power because now the whole of Africa, our ancestors, they are mad. They want to. You see, when you sermon spirits like Patrice Lumumba, imagine you sermon somebody like Patrice Lumumba and you are channeling him. Do you know the anger you will feel? Do you know what, if you like, channel Patrice Lumumba's consciousness when he was alive and let him teach you whatever he knew in this earth. The next day, you are going to move every Belgium embassy. I said, any country that has harmed Africa, that keep our fathers' hairs in jars in Europe currently, that they don't want to return it. And they keep telling us we owe them. How did Africa owe the West? If you keep taking our natural resources, well, look at what you've done to our land. You have destroyed our land. You have destroyed our waters. Our waters are full of cyanide. And you tell us we owe you. I'm giving you up to 2023, the end of 2023, 31st December 2023. If our artifacts that were stolen from Africa is not returned back to its people, those artifacts will evoke things on your land. And whatever you did to me and told me I owe you, I will do similar to you and use that as the payment of my debt. I said this story can be written in two ways: a peaceful and loving way, because we've been saying it for a very long time, but it is like there needs to be a revolution. And this time around, I'm telling my Africans, we don't need to be violent in this 3D version. We know where to hit them. The very beginning of their existence. And their red blood cells will fight against their white blood cells. We know everything is energy. I said, don't try the African in 2050. We know the law of polarity. We know we need white people and black people in this thing called reality. The difference makes us enjoy life. But if you dare come to Africa, when we are basking in our grace, when we are basking in our glory, our power, and in our abundance, trust me, I keep saying this, and I'm saying it once again. The Eiffel Tower won't have a viewer in just 77 years. The France will be a land that used to be thriving. Just like you see there are Jericho. I'm telling you, and it's a fact. It is written. I said, I know the ending of you. And I know where you can be if you do things the way I am telling you to do things. Because black people are never violent. We know you've done that to our fathers, and we still come to France. We still come to Paris. We know all that. Do you really think we are that stupid? We know it, but then, come on. We are in 2023, so we are like, okay, let you and I in 2023, Emmanuel Macron, learn from the past. And make sure this present day, today, 18th August 2023, Emmanuel Macron, let's learn so that tomorrow, such stupidity won't happen for you doing such things to my people. And that is what those are the discussions we need to be having at the AU meeting. The next AU meeting, I don't want any discussion apart from Africa's unity. If you go there talking now, the ECOWAS leaders. Now, listen. When we talk about puppets being put in place as our heads, how can somebody whose very presidency is in court being disputed be the chairman of ECOWAS? The leader of ECOWAS. Somebody whose credibility is being questioned of winning a fair election in Nigeria. As I said, our fathers, most of them were born in slavery. Their upbringing was different from ours. When they were teaching us the Bible, we were learning what they were learning too. When they were teaching us the Bible, thinking we are learning the pi r square and all these things they teach us so that we become workers for their children, we were learning what their children were learning. So now we knew that this is the slavery and the systematic slavery. So me in 2023, as the ordained Crown Prince of Ghana, if I tell you to stop going to church and make sure every Sunday you spend it with your family, and you tell me, oh no, wake up at 3, meditate, call on the people that make your body, your DNA, that those are your ancestors. They are energies. They never left to deter others from doing the same thing. So I'm sending greetings to Algiers. I'm sending greetings to Abuja. I'm sending greetings to Luanda, to Porto Novo, to Brazzaville, to Gaborone, Ouagadougou, Yaoundé, Praia, Bangui, Banjul, N'Djamena, Moroni, Kinshasa, Gaborone, Harare, Kigali, Port Louis, Rabat, Maputo, Freetown, Lome, Victoria, Dodoma, Khartoum, Judah. Now, these are the beautiful names of the cities in, oh, come on, man. I love Africa. I love my brothers and sisters. I'm sending you guys love, man. We need nothing but love in order to unite this continent. And we have done that. The kingdom of Al-Kabulan is upon us. I said the name Africa has suffered enough. So we are going back to when you and I used to be kings and queens. And that is what Pan-Africanism will bring. Our unity will bring abundance, because our unity means that things that are in Africa will stay in Africa for the benefit of the African. I love you, my brothers and sisters. I love you, especially my queens in Africa. If you see an African woman, you will know this is God. If you've never seen God before, when you see an African woman, that is an epitome of who God is, right? And we know everything started with the first woman, right? So that is why in Africa, in our culture, we used to respect our mothers a lot, because they multiply more than the men. That is why in our culture as Asantes, the queen mother instills the king, so that always there will be that feminine voice behind the king. And that feminine voice is calm. And that is what is, when it is ruling, it is better. So we are bringing our mothers and females back into our decision making going forward in Pan-Africanism, because we know that they need to calm us down sometimes. We know it's not like when we give power to women, right? So in Ghana, for instance, we will crown a king and a queen in Ghana very, very soon after President Akufo-Addo's tenure has ended. Because we know that democracy divides us. We know that democracy is another tool by the colonialists to divide us as Africans. So, Bediako-Poku, for instance, I see above every system of the human. Because we have gone 800,000 years back to when we were kings and queens. And we have called on our ancestors, and they have answered our prayers. I said, what you are seeing across Africa, it is the unity of Africa that is upon us. And nobody in this world can stop this unity, because you are going to fight against nature. You are going to fight against the very people that gave you life. And that is where we will attack you from. This that we see is 3D, the eye. When the eye closes, it doesn't mean there is no world. It's just the 3D version of reality. And I'm telling you, my brothers and sisters, we know where we will start from. We create from within before it manifests in our eyes. So grow your consciousness. Now, I told you to go on a 30-day journey with me. Go and check the show I did on Monday on my TikTok show, on my TikTok page, Poku-Hitzfied, or go to Reunited Live on YouTube. We have less subscribers there. Go and watch the full video. On Monday, I was teaching the youth of Africa how you all can match my consciousness. Because what I know, if you know, tomorrow we will start building Africa. What I know, if you know, tomorrow we are closing all France embassies in Africa. What I know, if you know, tomorrow we will close all English embassies in Africa. Because it is about time we start respecting ourselves. And if we don't do that as black people, they will never. We have asked nicely. We have asked. So after 500 years of enslaving somebody, when you decided to let that enslavement go, look at the system and agreement that these countries had to sign with France before they could. And countries like Guinea that didn't agree that France should put this on them. Do you know what they did in Guinea and those countries that didn't want French influence in their country? They made sure they took everything from the land. They took and they made sure they poured concrete into sewages. These are the people that we want to be friends with. It is because we want to be friends with these people. That is why they think they have authority over us. And if somebody has been your friend for 563 years, like Ghana have done with Britain, And I look at Ghana as the ordained crown prince of Ghana, and I'm like, I didn't come here for this mediocrity. I didn't come here to live in a world where I will look at the white man put systems that divides my people. No, I am following the footsteps of this man. And that same system is what we are preaching. Thank God we have 1 billion Pan-Africanists across the world now. If you're a black man, why are you not a Pan-Africanist? Keep writing me the emails. I read all of them. I try my best to reply every email. If you want to build something, I own over 200,000 acres in just Ghana. Come and let's build Africa. If you want to build a water park, if you want to build a mall, I said it is for free. If you are a black man, come back to Ghana. Come back to Africa, because we are about to build an Africa where people never envisioned it to be. All my brothers around Europe, I'm calling everybody back to the motherland, because after some time we will close Africa until 2050. I'm saying it again. Once Pan-Africanism kicks in, we are closing Africa to the world until 2050. Now, when we open Africa to the world and host the World Cup, I want us to bid for that World Cup. 2050 World Cup, Africa, 2050. We want them to see 100,000 capacity stadiums across the continent. 100 capacity stadiums in each country. So we are going to build 540. Now, people will ask, how are we going to build them? Now, do you know black people? All we need to do, if we build the pyramids, we need to just lie down and sleep. Connect to our forefathers. The designs will come. The way and how to build it will come. Now, we know the library. We know the library. We are not reading your books anymore, because we know the books, the God you portray in those books. We serve a better God. If you tell me the same God that is omnipotent, that knows the future, that knows everything, will test you, he will know you will pass. So if you are going to tell me as a father, will you do that to your own children? The God they portray in the Bible, the God they portray in the Quran, that is not the God we want to serve. Because the God we want to serve is merciful. He doesn't discriminate. The God we want to serve is everywhere. We see it daily. Our bodies teaches us. The universe teaches us. The nature teaches us everything. So that is the God we as Africans we serve. We are not serving a God that you need to pay money to in order to consult his priest. I told you guys, go on that 30-day journey. And after you come out of that 30-day journey, your consciousness will automatically move to the fifth dimension. Do good, a lot of good during that time. Do a lot of good during that time. Now, today, one thing that is pissing me off a lot, and I want to talk about it. And these are the things that we need to change going forward as Africans. Now, in Ghana, listen to something, guys. The Bank of Ghana lost 60 billion Ghana Cedis in 2022. Let me say it again. Maybe it is mind-boggling to think, how do you lose 60 billion Ghana Cedis? It is crazy to think that what is your work there? And as the ordained Crown Prince of Ghana, I sit down and I listen to these things. And I'm like, why are people not getting punished for this? But then you look around and you realize it is the same democracy. The people that always support the opposition to win power. So they don't care if Africa is in ruins. They don't care if Africa is in tatters. As a matter of fact, there are no companies in Africa that produces guns, but yet you will see an African boy who couldn't even buy food holding a $50,000 rifle. Who gave the rifle to that boy? Where did it come from? So after even they manufacture their weapons, they need to create wars in our motherland to sell those weapons. And that is what has been going on. And as Africans and as enlightened beings of 2023, we see above all these systems. We know your religions. We know how contaminated that religion is. We have gone back and read. The Jesus story is the Osiris story. And even that, they couldn't say it properly. You have always been here as a black man. Do you know how powerful you are? Nature will teach you that you can't take black, you can't take white. Oh, let me get it straight. You can't take black from white because it's never possible. But you can take white from black. So if color will teach you that, if the nature teaches us that, nature is also teaching you that black people give birth to white people. So if we are telling white people we have always been on earth, we are gods. If you go looking for a god as a black man, you are God. The same thing that created everything you see. That is the same spirit that is in you. Talk to him. The I in you. It is called I am. Call him I am. It is the spirit that created everything. That is the God. People call him All Sinai. People call him God. Others will call him Hindu, Buddha. Others will call him Allah. They speak different languages. The same way they don't call a cat the same in their languages. Our forefathers and ancestors knew about all these energies. They knew everything is energy. So they call it bosom. And you don't understand that they called it bosom. Why? Did you want our forefathers to call it energy for you to know in 2023 it is the same thing? So now pure energies like Nogokpo, you will see the puppets of the colonial masters trying to demonize the same place that brought him out of slavery. Do you know Osajefo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah had to contact the energies from Nogokpo, the holy energies from Nogokpo, the pure energies from Nogokpo, to be able to win freedom for Ghana? Now the colonial master has puppets who would demonize their own background and yet be able to sit in a plane and travel to the United States. The United States spends over $1 trillion every year creating wars around the world. And pastors are okay to travel to the United States. And then they will demonize their home. You see what we have become. How can you lose $60 billion, Mr. Addison? The governor of Ghana, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, how can you lose 60 billion Ghana Cedis? I'm asking you a question today. As the Ordained Crown Prince of Ghana, we need to start addressing you as people, as fathers. How can you lose such a money and still be in charge? And then, on top of this stupidity and mediocrity, you want the youth of Ghana to sit down. They are now saying that they are building a new headquarters for the Bank of Ghana with $250 million. After losing 20 billion Ghana Cedis in a year, you have the audacity to still decide. Do you know what $250 million can do in building schools in Ghana? Do you know what $250 million can do if we buy drenches and begin to drench and clean our rivers and waters in Ghana? Do you know what 250 million? Hey, you guys should be careful. You guys, now let me tell you something. Maybe you don't know this. As my fathers in Ghana, if I curse you, if I say something on your life, there is no power here in Ghana. There is no power here in Africa that will reverse it. Because do you know why? They know how loving I am. They know violence is the last thing I resort to. Our fathers that are keeping Africa's money outside Africa. Today, 18th August 2023. I'm saying this now. Bring all the monies from every account there back to Africa, because we are about to close the continent. We are about to start large-scale farms. 30 large-scale farms across Africa. 30 million acres each. We want to build the biggest farms in the world, and we want to build 30 of them because we want to be able to feed ourselves. What you need a day is not a car. What you need a day is food and a clean water. We don't need to pollute our waters for papers to run a system when we can produce. Now, let me tell you guys something, and you will be baffled at it. Yesterday, I was looking at the homework of one of my nieces, right? And there was this question that was asked in the Ghanaian school. Skilled workers and unskilled workers. And they put a teacher, they put a doctor, and they put a banker in there as skilled workers. And the unskilled workers, they put a farmer, they put a cleaner. And I'm like, how stupid can you be to educate your children like this? You see that the education they give to our children. How can you tell me? You put a farmer in an unskilled place so that children won't want to be farmers. Meanwhile, the most important job in the world is to be a farmer, is to be able to produce what you and your family will eat. And if you can do that each day, you will be happy. You can now get more to exchange for other things. Sell it now. But they have put a farmer in unskilled labor. And I was looking at a cleaner. Now, before somebody becomes a teacher, now look at our teachers. You grew up and you will see your teacher. He that he was teaching you all the mathematics. You will see his life and you are like, is this what you wanted me to become? So how can you tell me those jobs are important? Before somebody will grow up to become a doctor, a politician, a lawyer, that person will have been fed daily. So what we need to put our consciousness and effort in as Africans going forward is our agriculture, horticulture, and aquaculture sector. We need to invest a lot of time in there. If everybody eats 3 times a day, do you think somebody will steal? If everybody's children can afford all the facilities that we are about to build in Africa, do you think anybody will be a thief? If our wives are owning all the restaurants, all the shopping malls in Africa, do you think there will be any thief? Let us build Africa consciously. Now, we are about to retire our mothers and fathers above the ages of 50. The youth of Africa in Pan-Africanism, we realize that our fathers like His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, our fathers like Tinubu of Nigeria, they were all born in slavery. Let's state fact as it is. They were born when this country that we are living in were still under the rule of the British. So those children, imagine their upbringing. They will always go back to the colonial master. So that is why we keep telling them, don't go to IMF. All you need to do is stop giving your things and exchanging it for papers. But they will never understand. To them, the white and the British is God. Because they read the Bible every day. But I don't need to read the Bible to know God. All I need to do is sit on the sea shore. Look at the horizon. Look at things. Just be conscious of what I'm looking at. Ask questions. And I will know God there. I need to look at me as a human. Look at other humans. Some are tall, some are short, some are fat. And I will know God. So I don't need a book to teach me who God is. But I know the I in me. I know that the same spirit of good love, power, and abundance in me, that may be in everybody. So anybody I meet, I give respect and love to. But if you show me something negative, I will reciprocate that a lot to you too. So going forward, as I said, our ancestors' heads are kept in jars in Europe as I'm speaking to you right now. And you want me to forget it. Return everything you stole from Africa back to Africa. It is not yours. It is ours. You acknowledge it is ours. Bring everything back. Apologize and keep apologizing. Because the Africa we are building won't be a friend to the West ever again. And if you don't apologize, I will reciprocate everything you did to me to you. We need a sincere apology from the West, from the United States. The same way you are keeping the head of African kings in your jars. We live in 2023. I keep telling the world, those people are the reason why you are here today. It is not because a white man came and died 2,000 years ago. That 2,000 years ago, we were already in existence. When we tell you, I have read the Bible 3 times. I have read the Pentateuch. I've read and studied the 6 and 7 books of Moses. And I realized everything. And when you go searching for their Jesus, he's nowhere to be found. He never existed. I'm telling you as a brother today, take it from me. I will never say anything to harm you or send you into a place of hellfire. I will never do that to my brother. I love you too much. But why should you follow Christ if you can be like Christ? Why should you follow somebody when you can grow in your consciousness and now communicate with your brothers on a dimension? So if they cut the internet, we can still communicate. That is the way our forefathers and our ancestors were worshiping. And they realized that is how come they were able to unite and move out of slavery. That is what they say. The same African spirituality, they pick the concept and the principles and they say it is technology. And now they use it as Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. This mind is the ultimate machine. This mind created computers. So what this mind can do, a computer can do. So if computers are communicating, you think people or humans can lie down and sleep and just communicate on a frequency? That is astral projection. I said move into the 5th dimension with the ordained crown prince of Ghana across Africa. Our consciousness will grow so much. We will see above all the systematic slavery. And when we unite Africa, we will start building our continent. In 2050, we want to open Africa to the world for the first time. And when they come here, they will realize that the aliens that they said they built the pyramids are just standing right in front of them. We are the gods of it. They know it, and that is what they want to beat out of us. They killed out of us, but we rose. They created places and put us in, saying we commit crimes, mass incarcerations. They give us things that kill our fertility. Yet we keep reproducing. We keep reproducing because you can't fight with nature. We are in the age of Aquarius. Africa is basking in its glory. Africa is basking in its grace. Africa is basking in its power. Africa is basking in its abundance. And my brothers, have no fear for that atomic energy. We can astral project and detonate the same bombs in their land without us going to fight with this flesh. Don't be afraid of the atomic energy, because none of that can stand time. Time is the ultimate. And in quantum field, the past, the present, and the future is in the same sequence. Grow in your consciousness. Live in the fifth dimension. You will see the world differently. And I want every African youth. That is why I want all of you to tap into the fifth dimension. We will retire our parents because their consciousness is of a slave. Let us call a spade a spade. They were born in slavery. They were raised as slaves. So to them, UK is heaven. To them, United States is heaven. Not knowing that Africa is 10 times bigger than the United States. Not knowing that all they need to do is develop their land, clean their waters, and have respect for themselves. But they would rather want to have a house in Switzerland. They die to go to Switzerland. They die to go to. And I'm looking at them and I'm like, I can't wait to be in Namibia. I can't wait to be in Zimbabwe. Meet those wonderful Zimbabwean women. Have you seen a Zimbabwean woman before? Zimbabwe. Maybe I'll get a wife from Zimbabwe, one wife from Zimbabwe, one wife from Namibia, one wife. Hey, imagine 54 wives across Africa. Hey, I would have lived life, oh. It would be nice, man. Me, I'm here to live life to the fullest, man. That is why I said, I'm not here to live in mediocrity. I'm never here to live in mediocrity. I want to leave this earth dying knowing that I did my ultimate best for my brother, for the person that looks like me, for the I in every human, the human race. As people think I don't have white friends, as a matter of fact, most of my friends are white people. And sometimes they are like, Nana Poku-Hitzfied. Sometimes when you talk about it, it's like, when you see us, it is different. I'm like, you are different. You guys are different, right? You, my friends, my white friends that I know, you are conscious. You think like me. You are not the people we are talking about. When we say white people, I'm not talking about the white enlightened people. I'm talking about the barbaric ones. But then since you have enjoyed white privilege and said nothing, when the white privilege is now turning into white guilt and I'm bashing, you are still my friend. But then I will bash because you know it. I know it. You know I know it. And I know you know it. You know I have friends across the world. I said we need to awake our brothers and sisters, especially those in the place called the churches. And the do you know, the more you read the Bible, right? Now that I became more conscious, I realize it. Because the God they portray in the Bible, they portray a wicked being. They portray, now, let me give you this instance. If you tell me that the same God that is omnipotent, knows everything, was with Satan, a perceived demon, in a place called heaven for millions of years, and Satan was always fighting with him, fighting with him, fighting with him, fighting and doing things bad. He, the omnipotent that knows the future, he knows Satan will do this. Okay, fighting with him. And then he decided to create humans and created us and put us on a place called Earth. Nice place. Children, he loves us. And then the same person, he can't stand. He has been fighting, not defeating, fighting. So sometimes this will win, sometimes this person will win. Because fighting constantly, if one person keeps losing, that person will surrender. That is your perception in the Bible. So they were fighting. And he picked that person and brought us to. There is no sin in your life. You were not born of any sin. Stop saying that every human being was born in sin. Stop teaching the African child that everything black is bad. Stop teaching your children that. You are Africans. You are the beginning of creation. You can't take a recessive from a dominant. A dominant from a recessive, said they. Nature, look at color. Go and buy a white paint and buy a black paint. Pour all the white paint in the black paint and see whether it will change. It will change color. But pour just a drop of the black paint in the white paint and see what it will do to that paint. And then where is your consciousness? Broni na betre onyankopon. Iti hu nyankopon se wo ye kue adwuma. Hu nyankopon wo wiem. Nyankopon one wo kasa. Hey, book na betre onyankopon. And they have puppets who are now living in tricycles. And they will defend them to the latter. Hey, if you become conscious, my brothers, and you look back at Christianity, you will realize, how didn't I see this? But now you won't understand me. But keep learning. Keep reading the history of the people that brought you the Bible. Travel and live outside in Europe for some time. Have white friends. Me, I was intelligent. So my friends were children of billionaires. And they would tell me things their parents told them about us. So me, I know a white man than you know a white man. I speak Spanish, I speak German. Aprendí español dice años, pero no hablo con frecuencia. Entonces mi español es muy malo ahora. Porque si tú hablas muy despacio, lo entiendo. Rápido no entiendo. Necesito una integración. It's been a while since I spoke Spanish because now I have learned their histories. So me, when I tell my African youth that you are God, because the same thing that created the mountains is that same spirit that is living in you. Talk to that spirit in you. Use it in creating this in the 3D version. This is real and unreal. I don't know how to explain it to you. I keep giving you the instance that it is like you are playing a video game. Okay, let me give you a video game. When you are playing a video game, the character in the video game will do everything you are saying it should do. But is that character on its own? No. It is you moving the video game, the human. And that is what the spirit is to this flesh. This is just a coating. It is like the shirt I am wearing today. A covering. We are spiritual beings on earth to have an earthly experience. We need to co-create with the universe. We are making sure you and I in our lifetimes. I said everything in Africa makes us billionaires outright. We don't need to fight over anything. What we need to do is create restaurants, create water parks, create zoos, create good roads, create hospitals. Now we are about to build 30 hospitals in Africa, and we will make all look like a pyramid. Did you hear what I said? We are about to build 30 hospitals in Africa. The same way we are going to build 30 farms, large-scale farms. We are going to build it 300 kilometers. We will make sure it is the biggest hospital in the world, and we will build 30 of them. I said, we are here to co-create. If you and I, we don't finish it, the education we will give to our children, they will come and continue. And that starts by us not teaching our children French anymore. French is dead to us. They have harmed Africa enough. We shouldn't give them our energy anymore. We should respect ourselves. When we respect ourselves, they won't have power over us because they can't come and tell us what we should do anymore. But because we keep going there, that is why we are saying we are retiring our fathers above the ages of 50, because most of them were born in slavery. So they will never understand what we are saying. They see the world differently. They want God to come and destroy this earth than them standing up to know that the reason why France is rich is because they give their money to them. They steal the money. They open foreign accounts. Every African should bring their money back to Africa. We need to buy China and other people out of the African Development Bank. China, we love you. Russia, we love you. But going forward, nobody owns a share in Africa. You are our friends. We are going to treat you as one. Going forward, Russia, you've done great. You have shown that you are a friend and a true friend to Africa. You never participated in the Berlin Conference. You never did things that harmed Africa. We would rather give our cocoa, some of our cocoa to you guys, than to send a grain to France. I said, unless they come apologizing and returning everything they stole back to Africa. My name is Bediako-Poku. It's been a pleasure having you for more than 1 hour. See you on Friday on Transfer Business and News. This is my Sabbath, man. Today is my Sabbath. Let me end the show with Lumba, right? I was playing Lumba. You guys, you don't know what I have in mind for Lumba. We need to honor our fathers. You see, they have done a lot. They have suffered for Africa. Everybody who has done something for Africa, me, I know and I appreciate everything you do for your motherland. Don't think it has gone unseen. The Ordained Crown Prince of Ghana. One day, I will reward you. I will reward your children. We are rewarding all of us, ourselves. It is you and I we need to work harder, right? We need to sometimes put the phones down. If we have a farm, that you just sit in a tractor. There is technology. Farming, when you go into farming, it is therapy. Farming is therapy. You won't get stressed. You will see how it is that to put a seed in the soil and wait and nurture it and weed around it and prune it for it to grow. You will understand nature. So then you will know that everything you are doing now are seeds that you are sowing for a better future. Operation 2050, my vision for 2050 is of grace, power, and abundance. And I'm dragging every African youth along. I'm not leaving you along. No. I'm going into the future with you. I'm never leaving any African youth along. We are the ones that have been beaten. It is we that need to tell our story. Nobody needs to tell our story for us. So leave our continent and we will build a continent of grace. We will build a continent of power. We will build a continent of abundance.